I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to make a complete and utter fool of herself and the modern-day Republican Party. But then again, the modern-day Republican Party is the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. And fools don't make fools of themselves. They just show you who they are. But it is important that we don't normalize their behavior. So what is it that Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about today? Well, of course, she is talking about the release of January 6th video footage from the Capitol building that has been released in connection with the various criminal cases being prosecuted by the Department of Justice. But Marjorie Taylor Greene promised her supporters as one of the major Republican initiatives, whereas Democrats are focused on jobs and health care and protecting Social Security and fighting for veterans, students, and seniors. The MAGA Republican big agenda was releasing publicly the January 6th surveillance footage to try to prove their conspiracy that the FBI was involved in the January 6th insurrection, a complete and utter dangerous conspiracy. But this is what MAGA Republicans promised. But then when Marjorie Taylor Greene and the MAGA Republicans thought to themselves that by releasing this footage, it could result in groups identifying more insurrectionists, then Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Republicans who want to protect the insurrectionists then said, well, we shouldn't release the surveillance footage because it could result in more terrorists being caught. I kid you not. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is posting. So she's responding to a MAGA Republican by the name of Julie Kelly, who says, the pledge by the GOP to release all the January 6 videos has been broken. I believed my involvement to make footage available was a temporary fix until staff could protect innocents from DOJ and thugs like sedition hunters. Now I see GOP has capitulated to the DOJ and Capitol Police. In this MAGA fascist fantasy dystopia world, the people hunting the seditionists by trying to show their identities to the Department of Justice, they're the thugs, and the terrorist insurrectionists are their heroes. That's what the modern-day Republican Party has become. And what's Marjorie Taylor Greene's response to that? She responds, I called for releasing the tapes and stopped doing so when it was explained to me that groups like sedition hunters would use facial recognition software to go after more vulnerable people. After seeing the horrific, inhumane treatment of pretrial January 6 defendants in the D.C. jail in 2021, and being one of the few members of Congress that is against the persecution of the J6ers, I was afraid the Department of Justice would unjustly target more people. But if they can use facial recognition, why can't we? Our patriots can find the feds and or provocateurs who were involved in January 6th that the DOJ protects. I'm all for releasing the tapes! Exclamation point. Enough of this kabuki theater. It's time to end this. Everyone needs the truth, and the weaponized government must be stopped. Folks, that's one of the most deranged, delusional things I've ever read, ever. Period. And that's the stuff that she says every single day. That's the stuff that the Republicans say every single day. This is what it means to be a Republican in 2023. This is what their leader says. Remember back when they gave the footage to Tucker Carlson when he was at Fox? Remember what Donald Trump said back then? Congratulations to Tucker Carlson on one of the biggest scoops as a reporter in U.S. history. The new surveillance footage of January 6th event sheds an entirely different light on what actually happened. No, it doesn't. No, it didn't. The Unselect Committee was a giant scam and has now unequivocally been stamped as criminal fabricators of this most important day. Pelosi and McConnell failed on security. The police story is sad and difficult to watch. Trump and most others are totally innocent. Let them go free now! Exclamation point. Remember back then? 41,000 hours of Capitol surveillance footage was given to Tucker Carlson. The public wasn't able to see it. And the reason that the public wasn't able to see it is because after the MAGA Republicans said they were going to release it, the Capitol Police said, can you please not release all of it? Not because of your ridiculous, deranged conspiracies, but you could harm our national security by releasing the footage and by showing certain safe spaces and hideaways and things like that in the Capitol building. This would be very dangerous for Capitol Police officers, very dangerous for lawmakers if terrorist groups got their hands on certain aspects of the surveillance footage. And this is why the Capitol Police said, even when we were giving footage to the January 6th committee, we were very careful which footage could be turned over because we didn't want any footage being made public that could be used to cause harm to police officers or to lawmakers. But MAGA Republicans then gave that to Tucker Carlson, and then their right-wing supporters who were promised that these tapes would be released publicly because the MAGA Republicans' QAnon deranged conspiracy theories, they're claiming that the feds were involved in the insurrection, which is just 100% completely and utterly false and deranged. Well, then the MAGA Republicans said we can't turn over that footage because they need to protect the insurrectionists on the video footage from potentially being outed by groups that look for seditionists. This is the modern day Republican Party. They're not conservative. Do not call these people conservative. You remember, I mean, this was what Marjorie Taylor Greene said a few weeks back, where she was given a speech. And by the way, her speeches are now being attended by very, very small groups of people. She just spoke in Rome, Georgia, like the biggest city in her district. And like she filled up the first 3 rows. We covered this on MeidasTouch.com here, just so you see the photo of it. Here's another speech she gave back in early June, where she says that the reason the January 6 tapes have not been released is because Kevin McCarthy and her fear that this will enable the Department of Justice to make more arrests. Play this clip.
And then here comes Matthew Graves, who uses his office to target people for January 6th instead of prosecuting people for crimes that happen every single day in Washington, D.C. That's why they haven't been released yet. Because the Speaker's office is going, if we put all these out here, are we enabling the Department of Justice, who we do not control, to sit there and continue targeting people? And that, honestly, that is the problem.
Yes, and this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who goes on Fox and calls for basically civil war, says there needs to be a national divorce, and claims a national divorce is what our founding fathers wanted. Here, play this clip.
And do you expect it'll happen? Last question.
Well, I think it's something that we should work towards because, you know, it's kind of the vision that our founding fathers had for America, and I think it's a great one. It worked in the beginning. We just got it completely out of control, so I hope we can get there.
All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene, thanks for explaining it all to us. We appreciate it, as always.
In the past 24, 48 hours, Marjorie Taylor Greene went on the show InfoWars, hosted by Alex Jones, who was found liable to the tune of like $1 billion for defaming the families of school shooting victims. And the jury found significant damages and punitive damages against Alex Jones. So she went on that show, and then she said that that God has sent tornadoes to Burning Man to teach the people there a lesson. Folks, that's what's going on right now, and there ain't nothing normal about it. But I'll show you this. This is Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, from a few months ago, and here he talks about how the MAGA Republicans are protecting George Santos. They want to impeach Biden, and They're the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember this? We need to see more of this when Congress returns from recess. Play the clip of Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries.
I think it's an incredible contrast that on Wednesday, extreme MAGA Republicans in the House defend, coddle, and continue to play footsie with serial fraudster George Santos. And on Thursday, they want to impeach the President of the United States of America, the FBI director who was appointed by a Republican president, and the Homeland Security Secretary. And who is the face of this effort? Marjorie Taylor Greene. House Republicans have increasingly become the party of Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and George Santos. That is a very sad state of affairs.
So, folks, on Labor Day, where President Biden is focused on jobs, where President Biden's focused on infrastructure, the leaders of the Republican Party are focused on whether or not they're going to be releasing January 6th video footage, and that they don't want to release it because they're worried that that could help expose more terrorists, then that's a concern for them. You know, there's no wonder that there are so many independents and former Republicans who look at this and go, okay, this is crazy crap. Like, this is just some crazy, like, I'm out. I'm not supporting this crap at all, ever again. with these deranged lunatics. It's true. Like, that's just what they are. That's why we call it out together. I'm Ben Meiselas. Hit subscribe. Help us get to 2 million subscribers by the end of 2023. Also, check us out wherever you get audio podcasts at the MeidasTouch podcast. Have a great day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.